Hey guys, what's going on? This is Saul over at SUPP, and man, is this topic long overdue. But before we get started, how's everyone doing? Is everyone back at the gym? Did you try out that new strength building technique that I told you about last time? If you have, great. If you haven't, you don't have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm referencing the last blog post that I did over at the SUPP blog, which if you want to check it out, it's in the video description below as a link. But let's get started on this one for now. So like every workout nutrition DIY post, I thought this would be a good one to loop in with the last blog post, or the last post, as the two go hand in hand when it comes to getting and maintaining the body you want or you already have. Now, people talking about diets, I mean, people always talk about diets, but people talking about diets, in particular this past January, has really been the equivalent annoyance levels of me wanting to toss something heavy out the nearest window. So I figure it's time to turn that rage into education. So let's get started. Wipe the donut dust off your mouth and pay attention, because this is handy for both men and women. Alright, so workout nutrition DIY. Why diets suck. So you picked up a bit of holiday weight and you dodged the gym like your least favorite relatives at Christmas dinner. Now you're trying to figure out how to burn it off and fast. Well, I've got news for you. Most diets suck. And look, this isn't just me saying it, because like, even I think most diets suck. Why? Because the way people go about dieting makes it so. And the way most diets are structured causes most people to quickly fall off the bandwagon. So while usually this is where I would say, oh, embrace the suck, this is one time I won't. Because unless you're a competitive bodybuilder shooting for crazy low body fat percentage, dieting, and I'm using air quotes here, or eating with purpose, as I like to call it, is a hell of a lot easier than most people think. I like to call it eating with purpose more than dieting, so let's just call it that for now. So I've been lifting for over 10 years, and if it's one thing I've learned about being in this game, it's this. While others, such as myself, have a love for the iron and doing their research on nutrition, the average person does not. And we all know a veteran buddy or two that's completely let themselves go. It's just not easy for everyone, okay? So getting all sciencey on you right now is not going to do either of us any good. Now, I learned this the hard way early on in my lifting life when it came to talking about nutrition to people. So simple and easy to follow, easy to remember is the way to go. Easy has also caused people to shy away from fats, like, when the media puts out new information on things like, oh, fats are bad, but they're not, because they actually fuel your heart, or fruits are bad because of the natural sugar content, but that's not entirely true either. And oh, salt causes high blood pressure, also not true. Salt is a very, very useful mineral, but I'll get to that at a later date. Or, if you've read the blog post, then you already know what I'm talking about. If you've read the guide, the SUPP guides, then you already know what I'm talking about. But anyway, at some point the media has branded all of these as bad, and it's stupid, really. So that's the bad easy, but let's talk about the good easy. People follow easy, people remember easy. Complicate things when someone's got a learning curve to tackle. And unless you've still got that overcome anything warrior mentality, most people will dip their toe in the water and they're going to scram the minute they do, saying that it's too cold. Okay, so, this is exactly why I don't write anything geared towards dieting, if you've noticed. This is exactly why I don't talk about anything geared towards dieting when you think about it. Because the word in itself has developed a very negative connotation over the decades. This is also what SUPP is all about. It's about stripping away the unnecessary. So it's why I wrote the guides in the most basic format possible, and I cut out all the headaches so you can get the most gains with the least stress. Anyway, enough with fluff talk, alright? So here's 3 basic rules to remember that'll help you cut fat and stay in good shape all year round. Okay, so you ready? Let's go. Rule number 1. Eat your damn breakfast. And no, not the frosted flakes you've been eating since you were a kid. Come on, please. A real breakfast, okay? You don't like breakfast? Well, okay. A, you're probably doing it wrong. And by wrong, I mean you're snacking at night just before bed. And B, your breakfast is probably sugar-laden or very carb-intensive, okay? So unless you've got a 5 a.m. conditioning workout to knock out, which even then, it should really be fueled with good intra-workout nutrition. And, I've written something about that too. Check out the video description below, you'll see the link for that. Your breakfast should really be substantial, and it should be, most importantly, protein loaded. So your cortisol levels, that's the stuff that can help or hinder you, by the way, but for now all you need to know is that it stores fat. Your cortisol levels are higher in the morning. So when you combine that with your childhood breakfast habits, it's really no wonder you're not getting anywhere when it comes to dropping fat. And you know, you still have that thought of, God damn it, I'm still hungry all morning. Like, you know, that aching hunger that even after you've eaten, you still feel like you're not full. So this all has to do with the brain and what you've conditioned it to do. Have you ever thought of the word breakfast, by the way? Let's break it down for a minute, okay? Breakfast, break, fast. Okay, so you're breaking a fast. At night, your body goes through a fasting period. This can mean removing toxins, it can mean restoring energy levels, generally the maintenance work that it can't do during the day to make sure everything under the hood is working fine the next morning and throughout the day. So if we think about how a heavy meal takes 3 to 4 hours to digest, and a snack or light meal can take 30 minutes to up to 1.5 hours to digest, this means that when you stuff your face just before bed, you're throwing your body off, primarily your brain, for the work it needs to do that night. This mostly has to do with hormones you end up fucking with, but like I said, I'm not going to get technical. Okay, so the simple instruction is this: stop stuffing your face 3 to 4 hours before bed and eat a good, high-protein breakfast in the morning. Okay? Ideally, making your heavy meals breakfast and lunch and your lightest meal dinner, or as it's most commonly called, front loading. Okay, that works best for fat loss. Alright, so you're also going to be prone to snack less, which is a very big benefit. If you're a nerd and you want to check out the research, have a look at the Endocrine Society, which I've linked to in the video description as well. Okay, so rule number 2. Are you craving sugar? Oh, I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to man up, alright? The next time you reach for a sugar water or a high sugar snack, I want you to slap your hand and go for things that have natural sugars. And by natural, I mean things like fruits, vegetables, sweet vegetables, okay? For instance, like carrots, and fruit juices with no added sugar. And by added sugar, I mean artificial sugars. Okay, so we got fructose, sucrose, maltodextrin, whatever you want to call it, they're all additional sugars that if you're trying to cut fat, they've got to go, okay? But what about on weekends? You're probably groaning. Look, people, eating clean all week, it all goes to shit if you gorge on the weekend, okay? I'm not saying you can't eat, you know, your favorite sin or whatever, you know, or your guilty pleasure, but moderation is key, okay? So for the purpose of fat loss, just remember this: when you want something sweet, if you happen to read a food label before eating it, you should probably just avoid it, okay? So think about it. Have you ever seen an ingredients list on, I don't know, a peach, or an apple, or an orange, alright? Thinking like this also causes you to stop obsessively counting calories. And I know this isn't so much for like dudes, but women, like, I cannot tell you how many women I've known throughout my life that just obsess over calories when it comes to fat loss or basically just general body maintenance. Alright, I mean, calories, it's not about calories, it's about nutrient density, okay? First and foremost. It is about calories, but it isn't about calories, if that makes sense. I'll get to that in another video later on. So stick with nature's sugars, and you're basically gonna drop fat like a protein fart drops flies. Okay. All right. Final rule number 3: cut your carbs down to brain function levels. This one rule may make you feel a little uncomfortable. Oh, but what about my workouts? They'll suffer. I'll be fatigued. Well, no, you won't really. Not if you've read my post on intra-workout nutrition over at the SUPP blog. If you've read either of my nutrition guides, you'll know this isn't true either. So long story short, like protein, carbs should be focused on what you're doing that day, okay? So if you're working out and you know the intensity of your workout, you make sure your carbs match up. And like I said in the books, carbs are not your enemy. You letting your flabby lips run wild with carbs is. Alright, so how many? What's the magic number? 156. Alright, 156. Like I said in the nutrition guides, 156 grams of carbohydrates is the minimum you need to support your brain functions, while avoiding dipping into blood proteins, amino acids, and other energy stores. But if you're insulin resistant, have a very sedentary lifestyle most of the day, or you are severely obese, you can alternatively shoot for 100 to 125 grams per day. Alright? But this is the kicker. You have to make sure your fats, proteins, and workout nutrition are on point. Alright? And this should only be periodic and for fat loss goals. Carbs are your friend. Alright, like I said earlier. And having a consistently low carb intake can actually tax your brain functions, alright, your CNS, and it can hamper your heart or muscle mass, especially when you're not utilizing workout nutrition. And by workout nutrition, I mean pre, intra, and post, okay? And by pre, I don't mean the stuff that you get out of the plastic tub. You can actually make your own and really dial in your own pre-workout mix, which I do talk about in the guides. So if you follow any of these rules, and you don't have to follow all of them, okay? Start with one. Okay, start with one just to get yourself over that little learning curve. Alright? Follow any of these rules and you'll be one step closer to fat loss. It obviously will not work if your nutrition intake is shit, but for those of you willing to make an effort, I think you'll do just fine. Alright? Most importantly, write to me. Write to me and let me know when you start to see the results, okay? So if you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe, okay? If you really like this video but you don't have the SUPP books yet, go ahead, go to the shop, check out the SUPP guides, and I would say buy SUPP No Bull Gym in a Bag workout guide, or you can buy the SUPP No Bull Whole Food Military Nutrition at Home or on the go guides. They both cost less than the shirt on your back, but unlike that shirt, the knowledge gained is going to last you a lifetime, okay? And you know, just check it out, really, because it's worth it. It does reference a lot of the things that I talk about in this video. Alright, if you're not interested in buying the guides, you've already bought the guides, check out the other gear in my shop. It's going to help you with your workouts. I got t-shirts, I got hoodies, I got hats, I got everything, and I got protein. Yeah, I got protein, although that recently did sell out, so when I get that back in stock. But yes, I do have protein. And every item, the material, color, style, ingredients, quality, they're all handpicked by me. Like I use the stuff that I sell. Alright, so if I won't wear it, eat it, drink it, or read it, I'm not gonna sell it to you. Alright, but yeah, that's it. I might kind of like this. I kind of like doing the videos. Yeah, so I'm trying. I try and give you guys another one. Maybe the workout. Maybe a workout each one. But yeah, if you go ahead and get the guide instead, there's an ebook or a paperback. You're going to discover great ways to get more out of your nutrition and workouts while traveling or on the go. And by the way, previews of the chapters are actually available in the shop. But yeah, so while traveling or on the go or at home, basically it's going to teach you about everything. Yeah, so drop by next week for yet another great post to add to your workout and nutrition arsenal, and most importantly, stop doing guesswork, so that way you can actually start making the necessities of your life easier. Alright, last and finally, if you know how to fuel and train your body, where you are matters less. Alright, I'm out of here. Have fun, go on about your day. Enjoy. Peace.